Really weird, Lisa.
When
No? I love it. It's not really my style.
Lisa Frankenstein is imagined as a bold and atmospheric reimagining of the classic Frankenstein myth through a modern and emotionally charged lens, blending dark humor, Gothic romance, and eerie horror. This version centers on the idea that creation is not just a scientific act but an emotional one, and that monsters are shaped as much by need and loneliness as by unnatural assembly. The story unfolds in a world that is both familiar and unsettlingly strange, where shadows seem to stretch a bit too long and every creaking floorboard whispers of history that refuses to rest. The film begins with Lisa, a young woman plagued by isolation and grief, living on the edge of a quiet town that hides an undercurrent of Gothic mystery. Lisa is different, introspective, thoughtful, and drawn to places others avoid. She spends long hours in dusty archives, abandoned libraries, and crumbling cemeteries, searching for something she cannot yet name. Her feelings of displacement and yearning create the emotional gravity that underpins the narrative, making her journey more than just a supernatural encounter. It becomes a reflection on human longing itself. Frankenstein, in this reimagined tale, is not a mad scientist driven purely by hubris, but a grieving soul whose ambition was rooted in love. Consumed by the loss of someone dear, he attempted the forbidden act of stitching life into death, hoping to fill the void left behind. The result was a creation that existed in fragments of memory and flickers of consciousness, a being who felt the ache of existence without the comfort of belonging. Rather than presenting Frankenstein as villainous, the story introduces him as a tragic figure whose greatest mistake was not his ambition, but his inability to let go. The two protagonists meet under circumstances that are eerie yet charged with serendipity. Lisa stumbles upon the decrepit estate where Frankenstein's experiments were conducted, drawn by whispers of unfinished life echoing through its halls. Within these walls she discovers the creation, a being crafted from parts of the lost, animated by a spark that is as much emotional as it is electrical. Instead of recoiling from this unnatural appearance, Lisa sees something familiar in his eyes, a reflection of her own solitude. Their bond develops gradually, not through immediate understanding, but through shared loneliness. They are two souls shaped by loss, seeking connection in a world that often denies both. The creature, unlike traditional portrayals, is introspective and articulate, wrestling with the question of existence. He wonders what it means to be alive when life itself feels like a burden. Lisa responds not with fear, but with empathy, seeing in him a mirror of her own fractured heart. The film uses Gothic imagery to bring their internal states to life. Thunderstorms rage like unspoken emotions. Abandoned corridors echo with the weight of memories, and candlelight illuminates faces stained by longing. This visual mood reinforces the emotional core of the story, a tale of two outsiders, attempting to find meaning in a world that rarely accommodates those who feel different. As their relationship deepens, Lisa becomes both a confidant and a catalyst. She encouraged the creature to explore the world beyond the walls of the estate, leading them into forests blanketed by fog and through towns that stare with curious and fearful eyes. Every encounter challenges assumptions about what humanity means, blurring the lines between monster and human, creator and creation. The emotional stakes rise when remnants of Frankenstein's past return, forcing both Lisa and the creature to confront the consequences of life and loss. These echoes appear in whispers of unfinished business and unresolved guilt, adding complexity to an already tangled bond. The creature struggles with his origins. Was he born of love or desperation? And does that distinction even matter when existence itself demands purpose? Lisa, too, is forced to reckon with her own past. The ghosts of her former life, memories of people she lost and moments she wished she could reclaim, surface during moments of tension and introspection. These memories fuel her connection to the creature, but also deepen her fear of becoming as isolated as he once was. Through this, the film explores how grief shapes identity and how connection requires both vulnerability and courage. Conflict arises not from external monsters, but from internal dilemmas. The real horror is not the creature's appearance, but the emotional turbulence that arises when two broken souls attempt to heal one another. This psychological tension culminates in moments of heartbreak, revelation, and choice, revealing that love itself can be terrifying when the stakes are existence and acceptance, supporting characters, townspeople, lingering spirits, and spectral memories of those once lost add depth to Lisa's world, each reflecting aspects of fear, hope, and judgment. Some view the creature as abomination, while others see in him the reflection of their own hidden wounds. This spectrum of reaction enriches the narrative, showing that humanity is not a single entity, but a mosaic of responses to the unknown. The pacing of the story balances quiet contemplation with moments of raw emotional revelation. Music and sound are used not as mere background, but as emotional currents that carry the weight of every heartbeat and unanswered question. Silence becomes as expressive as speech, emphasizing the isolation of characters whose thoughts are larger than their voices. In its climax, the film confronts the fundamental question of creation. Does giving life truly mean understanding it? Frankenstein's legacy, a being born from heartbreak, forces Lisa and the creature to make choices that blur the line between destiny and autonomy. These choices reflect not just personal survival, but the courage to embrace imperfection and to love despite fear, emotion, and existential inquiry intertwine as the story reaches its resolution. The creature, having confronted his origins and the world's fear, must choose whether to embrace his own path or surrender to the loneliness that once defined him. Lisa, in turn, must decide whether connection means merging paths or walking alongside someone who lives between worlds. The ending is poignant, neither wholly victorious nor tragically defeated. It reflects the messy, imperfect nature of human experience, a life shaped by loss, shaped by connection, and ultimately defined by the choices made in the face of uncertainty. Their parting or union, open to interpretation, leaves a lasting impression on the audience, inviting reflection on what it means to create, to lose, and to love. Overall, Lisa Frankenstein is portrayed as more than a retelling of a classic myth. It is a psychological and emotional journey that challenges viewers to reconsider what it means to be human, to build life from sorrow, and to find beauty within the broken. By grounding supernatural elements in emotional truth, the film becomes both haunting and deeply relatable, exploring the timeless intersection of grief, connection, and identity.